It's not about skill. It's about will. Most people believe that mastering their skill will lead them to success, and that's not the case. This isn't just about skill. This is about will. Having the will to show up, having the will to bounce back after failure, having the will to do what's necessary, having the will to stretch outside your comfort zone. This is about will. Today's episode is sponsored by How to Conquer Your Bullshit with CPR, my free training that will help you bring your message to the masses. Sign up for the free training at rubyfremont.com/CPR. And whether you're new to this podcast or you're a loyal thought leader, please remember to drop a rating and review. I truly appreciate it. Now, let's drop into another edition of Thursday's Thoughts. Welcome to today's Thought Leader, where I'm challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. I'm your host, Ruby Fremont, and I'm here as a catalyst for you, the new generation of thought leaders. Join me every week as I dive into raw and real conversations that will help you amplify your presence, influence, and impact. Hey, thought leaders, I am back with another edition of Thursday's Thought. This one's going to be a quickie, but first I want to check in. How did you enjoy that episode on Monday with David? If you haven't yet listened to it, go and listen to it now. He provides some amazing video content hacks that will help you boost the amount of video content that you put out there. I mean, who doesn't want that? So go listen to that. And now on for this episode. So today's thought, it's not about skill, it's about will. And I'm going to say that again because I want it to land. It's not about skill, it's about will. At least for me, I'm finding that in the personal development space and in the online entrepreneurial space, everybody is chasing some sort of external validation for what it is that they're here to do. People often get stuck in the loop of education. Now, I'm not against education. I have certifications. I'm all about that. But I'm about it to... It's about going after the certifications because you know it's going to enhance your skills, but not becoming addicted to the need for some sort of external validation and then expecting that thing, that certificate, that piece of paper to bring you success. Because this really isn't about skill. It's about will. You could be the best fucking social media marketer on this planet. But if you do not have the willingness, the will to put yourself out there day after day, to do the work day after day, to put in the effort day after day, to show up day after day, then you're not going to create that success. You could be the best fucking motivational speaker on the planet. But if you don't have the will, if you don't have the will to show up and put yourself out there and bring your voice out to the masses, if you don't have the will to go at it and go at it again, even after failure, then you don't have what it takes to create success. So many people think that this is about skill, and it's not. Yes, skill matters. You have to be good at what you do, right? But do you have to be the master at what you do in order to create success? No, because you can have mastered a talent or mastered a gift and still not be successful, because this is about will. How I look at will is really, it's like a combination of your drive, your motivation, and your resilience. It's your ability to stick to your journey, to the vision, to commit to seeing it through no matter what. See, and that doesn't take skill. That takes will. That takes a deeply profound, innate amount of will. And that will can only be cultivated within you. There is nothing external from you. There is nothing outside of you that will bring you that will. And the more you lean into your will, the stronger it becomes. You know, if I'm going to be completely honest, because that's the only way I know how to jam. If I were to look at my life, let's say like 10 years ago, I've always been resilient, but the amount of resiliency and the amount of drive and the amount of motivation has amplified like 1,000 times. And it's because I've consistently put my will on the table. Like I've consistently been activating those muscles. I've been consistently getting up after every fucking failure. And thought leaders, I have failed a lot. Okay. I have failed a lot. I consistently get back up after being faced with adversity, after having health challenges, after being faced with people who want to bring me down, after being faced with hard times. Like I consistently get back up and gather up my will to keep going. Look, I'll be honest. I'm not the fucking most I'm not the best speaker on the planet. I'm not the best coach on the planet. I'm not the best any of that. But what I will give myself credit for is the fact that I have impeccable will, that I will never fucking give up, that I will keep going after this day after day after day, because my purpose is so important to me. My vision is so important to me. And accomplishing this is so fucking important to me for reasons outside of myself. But it's because of the will that is within myself that I'm able to go out and do these things, to show up consistently for my podcast, to continue putting on my events, despite how fucking tough it is, to continue putting myself out there in ways that challenges me and my comfort zone. It's about will. Now, through this, as you practice leaning into your edge and leaning into your will, you will gain more skill for sure. But if you're in this to experience success, I want you to remember that this isn't about skill. It's about will. So rather than becoming addicted to that feeling of needing external sources or pieces of paper to validate your skills, start practicing your will. An example of this is one of my mentors, Rich Litvin, says this all the time. And I'm going to totally murder how he says this, but you'll get the gist of it. He says, if you're a coach, but you're spending the majority of your time creating social media content and blog posts, you're not a coach. The reason why a lot of people do this, coaches, I'm calling you out, is because of the lack of will to put themselves out there in a way that is challenging them to go after the vision. Like, yes, the social media posts and building the website and getting the brand, like that's all important, sure. But if you're not fucking doing what you're here to do, then what the fuck are you doing? The way I built my coaching practice was I gave away free sessions. I kept giving them away. My goal was to just coach people every fucking day so that I could build my skill. And that took a lot of will because I didn't get a lot of yeses. There were people who say no to free coaching, believe it or not. And it was just like this constant stream of rejection, and then having people say no, they don't want to continue with me. But I kept doing it. I kept putting myself out there in that vulnerable way, because for me, the end vision was the goal. So I want this episode to serve as a reminder, wherever you're at in your journey, that this isn't just about skill, this is about will. So if you're looking to get over that hump, if you're looking to get yourself out of a rut, if you're looking to get yourself to the next level, you've got to lean into your will. You've got to practice your will. Just know that you are skillful enough, and that now it is time for you to practice your will, because this isn't just about skill, this is about will. So that's it for today's Quickie Thursday's Thought. Let me know what you think of these Thursday's Thought episodes. Just hit me up on social media at I am Ruby. I frequent Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Instagram is probably by far my favorite, so hit me up there. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Thursday's Thought and today's Thought Leader, where I'm challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. Now, if you are ready to bring your message to the masses, if you want to practice your will, I highly recommend that you download my free online training. It's at rubyfremont.com/CPR, and I'll have that link in the show notes. Be sure to drop a rating and review on iTunes, and check back on Monday for a brand new episode of Today's Thought Leader.